Right, we're here for week three feature matches for our plane, or week two, sorry, for our Planechase League, and we have Tony G here. He's going to be facing Rafael, and Justin's going to be looking at Rafael's hand. So, yeah, in what seems to be a meta move. People are just naming their decks because they're in the feature match. So I think he called his deck High Viewers exclamation mark Party Time. So hopefully we'll get a good party here. So
Was
what's
a bit
going?
different with imported deck number 4.
Well, that's also very meta in its own way. So Tony's kept a bit of a slow hand here. He's five lands with an Essence Scatter and then a Rousing Reed, which is an aura that you need to put on your own creature. So he needs to find something to do here, and right on cue, he has an Ancestral Blade, which is you a very very good two drop, a little 2/2 here, and then you get an equipment left over after it dies. So what's Raphael's hand looking like?
So Rafael actually kept a one-lander and his top deck 2 lands in a row. But other than that, his hand is quite powerful. He has a Cosmos Elixir, which in the stalled game will do some
Ooh,
work.
yeah.
Girder Goons, very efficient card. Wrecking Crew, just a good body, and he has some combat. He has some tricks with like a Village Rites and a Demonic Gifts later on in the game.
So it looks like an Esper leaning deck here based on the cards in his hand. So looks like Tony is just playing some sort of he's trying to play all the colors, or at least trying to make all colors of mana here. So he's gonna try and put his Rousing Reed on his token here, and that's gonna work. So he gets to draw two cards and discard a card. So maybe he can find some more spells. In the meantime, he's okay. So he's drawn a couple creatures here you can play in subsequent turns. Vengeful Reaper and a Metropolis Sprite to go with the Essence Scatter and an array of lands of various colors, black, white, and then a blue-red pathway.
So Rafael, yeah, he's gonna Village Rites his creature. He's gonna try to find his fourth land to just be able to cast spells next turn.
Yeah, he's going to want to cast spells. He's going to want to block this 3/3, but you did say he had the Wrecking Crew, which is a big 4/5
Yeah.
with sometimes hidden reach, because it also has trample and is meant to attack, but it's there hidden. Ooh, Tony has drawn what might be one of the better cards in his deck, or definitely one of the better cards in his deck, Lyra Dawnbringer. And he does have the second white in hand, so that could be something he could be looking to take over the game with. But for now, he's just going to cast a Vengeful Reaper here, which is a flying haste death touch. So not the best deal if you cast it for four, but a better deal if you foretell it, even though you're still spending 4 mana. But he's decided against it. He's just going to cast it. Well, he's okay. Yeah, he's going to foretell it and leave up the an Essence Scatter here, I think. Yeah. So he could have. So he had a few options. He could have played the Vengeful Reaper. He could have played Metropolis Sprite and Foretold, or he could have done what he did here, which is leave up Essence Scatter, which will be helpful for him. So, what has Raphael drawn in the intervening
He's
turns here?
drawn
What's he looking to do?
You draw another 5 drop in the Epicure of Blood.
Hmm.
In this early game of League, you're going to see this type of filler 5 drop because it's only week 2 and our decks are not completely tuned off yet.
Hmm. So
But still, 5 mana 4/4 does the job.
yeah, he's missing a land though, I guess.
No, he has 3 lands in his hand. He's determining whether if he wants to play a 5 drop or wants to
Okay.
just play a Cosmos Elixir,
All right, so
and
he's so
that
he's drawn some lands in the. So he went from a one lander to now just you know
7. Yeah.
getting all the lands he needs. All right, so he's gonna go for
So
Cosmos Elixir here. Just right now, it's just gonna be an irritant. It's not gonna be drawing cards just yet, but it can be just irritating enough. It can give you just enough life as long as you don't take a huge tempo hit by playing it. Which I think he might have clocked a counter spell and just said, "Let me play a non-creature here. I'm only taking 3 a turn, and I'm going up to 17."
yeah, just a very nice way to play out his turn without getting countered back. And
Yeah.
the Cosmos Elixir, maybe he was thinking that the Cosmos Elixir will give me life. I want to start getting that ramping now, and then next turn I could play Epicure of Blood to sort of get the small combo off.
Yeah. So I will apologize here for the quality of the stream. We still see everything, but it is blurry at times. But we still do see everything, including that Lyra coming down here. And I assume if Raphael had a removal, it would be off the board already. Yeah. So
Yeah, unfortunately, Wrecking Crew hasn't seen this type of angel before.
this is a little small for the Wrecking Crew's a little small here to stop that. So he is going to play the Vengeful Reaper now. He's drawn another heavy hitter here, Valky, God of Lies, which has a T-Bolt, the 7 drop on the backside. So there's a good reason why
Wow.
he's up to 6 wins here on week 2. You know, Lyra in his starting pool, and then uh, either opening or possibly forging a T-Bolt or Valky this week. Yeah, it could be part of that.
Yeah, I just have to say, it's not very often you get to see Lyra's Anthem ability come into play, just because, it does have that text that all other angels get +1/+1 lifelink, and, in the set it was in, there weren't too many angels,
Yeah,
nor in any
that is
format we've ever played it with.
that is deceptively angelic. That that
Yeah,
vengeful
yeah.
reaper. I know in Capenna we had some angels that at least one, at least a couple at common and uncommon, but yeah, that black angel with flying and death touch doesn't not too angelic seeming, but looks like he's gonna try and just get this game done. He's gonna play this T-Bolt
Yeah.
here, and Rafael's gonna not be able to do much about it. Yeah, so
If you didn't
maybe
have an
maybe
answer
he
for
can draw
Lyra,
maybe he can draw a removal, kill the Lyra next turn, but there's still way too much advantage to deal with here. So we see the power of some of these really powerful cards. So looking at Tony's deck, he's got an Esper base, and then he has the T-Balt, he has a Soul of Emancipation. He has a couple of later game cards that he's reaching into red and green for, but for the most part, Esper based.
okay. So as for Raphael, as we saw, he had a Grixis, access to Grixis mana, and I get to see what his blue card is. He looks like the only blue card as I can see is Disdainful Stroke, and he might have like blue for other. Oh, Time of Ice. Time of Ice is another card,
Okay,
but he might have like a blue kicker spell somewhere
yeah, could
hiding in
be
his
or
deck that
something
I
with a
can't.
blue activation. There's a lot of cards to look through, but yeah,
But yeah, he's primarily black red. He's decided that if I can't destroy these really powerful cards and mythics, I'll extract them from their hand with Extract the Truth.
yeah. So funny enough, Tony's got a Giada Font of Hope because Lyra needs to come in with a +1 counter on it because it needs 6 power instead of 5. Um, yeah, so like I said, it's he's mostly white blue. He still has quite a lot of black, so I'm still calling it Esper, and touching red and green for a couple of very late game impactful cards. And we'll see if Rafael can turn around there after a bit of a rough go there. So Tony kept the very slow hand and didn't seem to get too punished. So
So
looks
in this
like
iteration, Raphael has actually found a well, his hand needs stuff to do. He has Maestro's Theater, 4 mountains, and a Disdainful Stroke and a Halo Scarab. So
yeah.
besides this Halo Scarab, he's gonna need to find more action if he ever wants to pressure his opponent before anything gets too ugly.
Yeah, this is reminiscent of Tony's hand from last game with the Essence Scatter and Arousing Raid and lands. Yeah, so Tony's taking a mulligan here. He has 2 white cards, but no white mana. And now he's drawn a third white card, so it might be, one of those games. So his only player is the Ghastly Gloom Hunter. He has a Rugged Highlands and a Forest in his hand. And again, he's not really playing. He's just had 1 green card from what I could tell. So these off color lands, they're basically colorless for 95% of the spells he's looking to cast since he's playing Esper. So he will be able to cast the Tomebound Lich this turn and maybe find his white source here for all these spells he's got. All right, so right on cue we got a plane, so that unlocks the entirety of the rest of his hand. I think he's probably just going to discard the Rugged Highlands here.
Did we see what the green was for his deck?
He has a Soul of Emancipation, which is that big 7 drop from Capenna, which can turn other non-land permanents into 3/3s, 3/3 flyings.
Angels, mind you, with Lyra in the
Yes,
deck. Who knows
yeah,
what could happen?
that is the thing. Yeah, so he's gonna play the Gale Swooper here. He's gonna get the Tomebound Lich into the air and be able to loot again, unless Raphael can stop any of this.
Well, he has a shock or a disdainful stroke, so he could disdainful stroke the Gale Super if he wanted to, or can shock a 3/2, but the Tobal Lich would still be able to attack.
Well, I figure this could be the disdainful stroke here, but he's probably thinking how many more creatures is he going to play that I could shock. He's probably going to play a bunch of stuff I want a disdainful stroke, but yeah, he doesn't want that Tomebound Lich getting too much advantage here.
There's also like
So
merit. He saw like a lot of like high drops that were really powerful. Like Lyra, Tybalt. Maybe he just wants to keep the disable stroke just as an answer to them.
yeah, so he's going to opt to two for one himself, but killing a very powerful card there that he otherwise didn't have a way to deal with, and keeping the board clear except for this little 1/1 flying. But here comes an Eerie Soul Tender, so let's see what's going to come of this. Right, so a land, a Windrider Wizard, and then another land there. Nothing too
So yeah,
exciting.
Raphael, facing the problem we all face as Magic players, he is flooded and has drawn about 5 to 6 lands in a row.
Right, so the rest of his hand is, I'm guessing, then land cards.
Yes, it is 3 mountains.
All right, so he's gonna need to find something quick because uh, Tony. I mean, he has some conditional white removal in his hand: Gideon's Reproach and Swift Response, which are very similar. They both one of them deals with attacking or blocking, one of them deals with tapped creatures. So cycling a Wander in Death here, hopefully finding something he can cast to impact the board, and yeah, Time of Ice that'll keep him. That'll at least keep him alive for the time being. So kind of timely there. I mean, if you can't play creatures, just do that. All right, so he's drawn an Academy Journey Mage, which you can just play as a 5 mana 3/2.
County Journey Mage can't target your own things. No,
Academy
okay.
Journey Mage can only target opponents' creatures. So, yeah, it seems like whenever they make these Manowar type creatures, it's they're not consistent with whether you can bounce your own or whether you can't from set to set. So bouncing this Ghastly Gloom Hunter is actually not going to be that bad for Tony because he'll be able to kick it and make it even bigger here.
Yeah, but it was kind of just like, do you want to bounce the Journey Mage? Do you want to bounce the Gloom
Yeah.
Hunter? And it's like not exactly like the best outcome either or.
So he's going to put Rousing Reed on his Academy Journey Mage, and I assume not attack. But we'll see.
Yeah,
If he wants to just cash in this Rousing Reed for four damage here, yeah, he's going back. He actually does have a moderately clean answer for the Tenacious Underdog with a Raven form in exile from being foretold, but Raven form not the answer you want, but sometimes it's the answer you need and you get. All right, so he's
time to
gonna.
extract some truth.
All right, well, he's gonna see some pretty good stuff here. So he's just gonna get rid of that undercover operative. Interesting because it's currently uncastable, but he's more afraid of that than perhaps a kicked Gloom Hunter, I suppose.
Well, he also has a second extract the truth in his hand, so he can get rid of something else if he so chooses.
All right. Well, he wasn't satisfied with the truth that was extracted the first time, so you might need to go in for another look. He thought
There can't be too much truth.
he thought maybe he was lying the first time, so second time through he'll spill the beans if he decides to do that here.
Okay, so he's gonna make the opponent sacrifice an enchantment,
Okay. Alternatively, you could
get rid of
choose
the rousing
the
root.
that less mentioned mode. I guess he said, I'm more afraid of a 4 power flyer than I am of any of the other cards I see." And Tony has drawn a card that's near and dear to my heart, which is Gates of Istfell, which is a land that you can later sacrifice to draw 2 cards and gain 2 life. So that's you'll love to see it. So he's not going to get greedy here. He's just gonna play this out as a 1/1, even though he could kick it next turn. But he'd probably rather draw 3 cards here. And now here comes Valky, which he's missing. He's missing the red right now. He discarded it to the Tomebound Lich, but he's got this game. He's sort of a board wipe. You know, while all this has been going on, Rafael's just at 1 from drawing a string of lands here.
He's trying to blitz the tenacious underdog and kill himself, but unfortunately, you can't pay the life that you don't have.
Yes, yeah. You can direct a burn spell at yourself if you wish, but if the cost involves paying amount of life that you do not have, you just have to die by attacks, which is a fine way to go, I suppose. Yeah. So we see just the flood here, and then the bombs in the first game, taking this for Tony G. So congratulations to him, and he'll be able to forge a card from Rafael's pack here, and we'll be back in a little bit with match number 2.